current temperatures. Yes, it's cold in the deserts and the mountains. You've got 30s and 20s, but where we have those Santa Ana winds blowing, the temperatures are currently in the 60s and 70s. And wait till you see what's in store this afternoon. We're aiming for highs in the 80s. Could even see some record highs. Details ahead. Here's Robin.
All right, it's about that time. The morning commute is picking up. Drive times are going up. Check out the 15. We're already at 45 minutes from Oak Hill to Corona, but still smooth sailing on South 14 and West 91. We'll have some more numbers and drive times coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Did you see the steam coming off those tamales?
No, I've never had like the strawberry, the pineapple.
You're missing.
No.
You're missing out.
We gotta get you hooked up, brother.
I'd like to try it, though.
Yeah, those sweet tamales. It's a thing of beauty.
You like the piña or the fresa, Belen?
Both. All of them. I can't choose.
D, all of the above.
I like that. I like that. It's that time of year, amigos. Here we are. We are 3 days away from the official start of winter, 7 days away from Christmas and Hanukkah, and 13 days away from the new year. The weather for today is going to be windy. It's this time of year when we start to see the Santa Ana winds in our forecasts. They've been more frequent. Instead of seeing more rainstorms, unfortunately, we're continue to see our vegetation dry out. The winds are going to peak this morning. They will weaken by the afternoon. But check this out. The highs today are going to be in the 70s and 80s because of that offshore flow. Now, for the rest of the week, the winds will be lighter in comparison, but that steady offshore flow will keep the numbers above normal. Now, let's get to the timing of these winds because this morning, already seeing some gusts upwards of 50, 60 miles per hour. Until about sunrise, those winds are going to remain steady. Now, I'll stop the clock again around lunchtime and notice how we still have some gusty conditions, but we're starting to see some improvement. It won't be until later today around sunset when those winds start to back off. Here we are looking at the weather at 6 p.m. Still some gusty spots to the south of the Cone Pass, over the Santa Ana Mountains, through the Santa Clarita Valley, and then overnight through tomorrow morning. You still notice that offshore flow, but the winds won't be as strong. Now let's get to those temperatures because where the winds are currently gusting, we've got numbers in the 60s and 70s. The San Fernando Valley is pretty mild this morning. We've got 50s right now in the downtown area and out towards LAX. Those are the wind sheltered spots. Also temperatures in the 30s and 40s in Hemet and Temecula where you're outside of that wind tunnel, and 30s over in the deserts, Big Bear 27 degrees where the winds are not as strong. Check out the afternoon temperatures. Highs in the 80s. Ay, ay, ay. These numbers ranging 15 to 20 degrees above normal. Now, you don't have the effect of that offshore flow, the warming winds up in the deserts. That's why your numbers will be cooler in the 60s in Big Bear, 58 degrees. Let's get to that 7-day forecast because I don't have any rain on the horizon. The numbers will be warm today and tomorrow, and on Friday, so temperatures will be in the low 70s. So still above normal. It's not until we get into this weekend when it feels a little more seasonal for the first official weekend of winter. But we've got beach weather today at the coast, 77. Just watch out for that blowing sand. The numbers will gradually cool. By this weekend, highs will be in the low 60s. The valleys and Inland Empire hitting highs in the 80s, could even set some record highs or tie them. A breezy day tomorrow, not as windy, but still warm in the low 80s. 70s on Friday this weekend in the low 70s, and through early next week, the weather stays dry. The high desert, low desert, you're going to have highs in the 70s and 80s. Through the weekend, the temperatures do come down in the high desert, but they remain on the warm side in the low desert. And finally, in the mountains, we got windy weather today. Careful with those crosswinds. The temperatures don't change very much in the coming days in the mountains. Upper 50s, low 60s will be in the mid 50s for next week. That's your forecast, everyone. Remember to download the NBC app for weather on the go. Now a check at the drive. How about those tamales, Robin?
Oh, it looks so good. Oh, it's making me hungry. I wish I had one right now. My goodness. All right, focusing on the traffic. We're back to the 110, but it's better news. All lanes open here coming out of San Pedro, North 110 at Harry Burgess Boulevard. That's where a small fire popped up on the side of the road right next to the freeway. And so we had the right lane blocked by fire crews as they dealt with that. Fire's out, under control. All lanes open, no significant delays, so the 110 looks really good. We have an event happening at SoFi Stadium. It is the Art of Sport LA Bowl hosted by Gonk. UNLV versus Cal. Doors open at 5. The event starts at 6. It's going to be busy as folks head over to the area, right? Surface streets, the 405, the 105, the 110 will feel the pressure. This is in addition to your evening commute, so please plan ahead for that. Topanga Canyon closed between Mulholland and PCH until 6 o'clock this evening. We've been telling you about the the high wind warning. Belen's been talking about that. This closure will be in place until 6 p.m. this evening. It's only open to residents and local business traffic. So if you don't live or work in the area, you're going to have to stick with those alternates, PCH and 101. You cannot use Topanga Canyon because of that issue there. And we'll check more traffic coming up in a little bit. Back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you.
Tamales for Christmas, and we're going to have more on those tamales with John Ketty's Clima.
Yes.
Out in East LA. Good morning, Lynette. Lynette. Belen. I'm in. Michelle Baez in for Lynette.
Yes. Good morning. Yes, along with the tamales, give me some stretchy pants because I'm going to need them this season, right? It's that time of year. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Well, we've got a red flag warning in effect. Let me show that to you and back up because it's the LA and Ventura County mountains where currently we have some critical fire conditions, and we've already had some reports of wind gusts up to 50 and 60 miles per hour. So the winds are expected to peak this morning. This is what they're doing right now. You'll notice that the most active area is through the I-5 corridor. That's where the red flag warning is in effect. So we've got low humidity, strong winds, very dry vegetation. This is in place until 6 o'clock this afternoon. On top of that red flag warning, we also have high wind warnings and wind advisories that cover even the Inland Empire in Orange County. I'll show that to you coming up. Right now, I want to show you the temperatures because the wind shelter locations are running cooler, but where we currently have those winds blowing, we've got numbers in the 60s and 70s. So I'm looking at the San Fernando Valley, that wind tunnel through the Inland Empire over into Orange County, a cold morning in the deserts and also in the mountains. But it's those offshore winds, those Santa Ana winds that are really going to boost our temperatures today. In fact, this morning I walked out the door and I thought to myself, why am I wearing a jacket? It felt really comfortable in the San Fernando Valley, and look at the afternoon. I think you're okay with those shorts and flip-flops. Highs are expected to be in the 70s and even 80s. Ay. More on that the next time I see you. Right now, hopefully you're not saying ay on the roads. Here's Robin.
No, it's looking great. Yeah, we don't have any big problems right now, Belen. We're off to a good start. There's a minor issue on the 10 counter commute direction going east at Grand Avenue. Watch out for a stalled car. The vehicle is partially blocking the right lane, and often our stalls will turn into crashes because people don't see it in time and they crash right into it. So just be on the lookout for that if you're heading in that direction, but no significant slowing passing the scene. So that's good news. The 5 wide open down into East LA. The 101 looks really good between the 5 and the 134. It's wide open. The 60 looks good too from Diamond Bar to East LA heading west. It's only 20 minutes for the drive, and that's perfect. We'll peek at more freeways coming up. Adrian, back to you.
Right.